Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm always a little bit disappointed when somebody says all that stuff and it turns out to be me, right? Expect someone to be better. So Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, learned colleagues, family members and friends, and most importantly, graduands. It's a real privilege and a pleasure to stand before you today to impart some of the little wisdom that I have about the joys and downfalls of being the owner of a shiny new science degree, be it bachelor's, honours, master's or a PhD. I know it's been a long, tiring, wonderful... sorry, this hat is annoying me, sorry. It's like wearing a frisbee on your head. I know it's been a long, tiring, wonderful, weird, stressful, but ultimately successful experience, because back in the Jurassic, I was where you are now, sitting in an itchy, stifling robe, tasseled cardboard hat, and new shoes that look great, but really are a trial to walk in. So well done to all of you for making it up and down the stairs. 27 years past my own BSc graduation, I'm now a geneticist. And I say that in the firm knowledge that at least half the audience now hate me. The reason for that, I think, is because geneticists have the worst rap in science. We are always the bad guys in Hollywood movies. Have you ever considered Jurassic Park, right? Jurassic Park's full of dinosaurs eating people, but are the dinosaurs the baddies? No, it's the geneticists. You know, we're the ones who are playing God, we're the ones who are making the dinosaurs. And I wouldn't be surprised if Darth Vader, Pennywise, and the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang aren't moonlighting as geneticists. That perception of us all being evil, morally bankrupt God players is a huge problem. Because due to recent developments in the way we sequence DNA and the way we understand genetics, my field is revolutioning health, agriculture, and our environment. There are genetically modified humans alive today, and new technologies with the apparent power to rescue extinct species and eradicate pests are apparently just around the corner. We are on the cusp of some amazing discoveries, and we must reclaim our genetic science as brave-hearted, public-serving, underpants-on-the-outside hero, and not the shady, monologuing, take-over-the-world villain that we've become. Science funding is hard to get, and hard enough to get, without a world-dominating agenda written into the abstract. To be that humble hero, we must engage in open and honest, and sometimes difficult conversations with the public and with policymakers. In New Zealand, we are barely even talking about the public with the benefits of science. Genetics, like many science, has the potential to transform our lives. And we need to decide if that transformation is for our benefit or for the benefit of others. In the past years, my science has shown some remarkable and important things. One of the cool things that genetics shows us is how remarkably related we all are, how closely related, how we cannot actually find genetic differences associated with race, with colour or creed. How that actually we all use the same genes to build our bodies as mice do, and ducks do, flies and even coral. Genetics humbles and equals us, putting into perspective the squabbles of this world. My field, of course, has its own alternative facts. 100% ethnic genomes, warrior genes and genes for criminality, but these, like the alternative facts of anti-vaccination, climate change denial and anti-fluoridation, go away with proper scientific scrutiny. This is what I really want to talk to you about, because today's pushback on evidence as a way to help us make decisions is truly frightening. Climate change, whether you like it or not, is a frightening reality, and yet it's dismissed as a mad-eyed cult by some who profit from the fossil fuel industry. I'd like to find anyone here who can identify a mad-eyed cult which has so many peer-reviewed publications backing it up. We are seeing the resurgence of once well-controlled diseases, such as measles, with anti-vaccination proponents seeming uncaring about the damage that they're doing. And the disparaging of experts' ideas and opinions seems to be commonplace with politicians worldwide. To be honest, this doesn't really bode well for the future of our species. Did you think I was going to say something nice and funny? Oh, I laugh, excellent. You are a tough crowd. And a big crowd, high up there. Wow. So science, which you've all studied, science as a system to interrogate nature is not perfect, but at least it is self-correcting and it encourages dissent. And I think we need to bring the toolkit of science to rebut the half-truths, the self-interested denials, the magical thinking and the lies if we wish to improve the human condition. I think you all need to remember what the great Tim Minchin said in his 9-minute beat poem, whose name I've just forgotten. Tim Minchin says, every mystery ever solved has turned out to be not magic. Your years at Otago University will travel with you throughout whatever the world holds for you in the future. You may be ready to leap into the workforce. You may be heading back into the lab to get your hands dirty with future study. You may be about to take on the rigors of a postdoc, or you might be going to hang your new degree on the wall and take off for the overseas adventure of a lifetime. All these roads are exciting, filled with possibilities and options. But remember, many of you in this crowd have trained as scientists. You want to be scientists. You are in the act of doing science. And I say the world needs you at this critical time in history to bring that science. I believe that we, many of us trained at the taxpayer's expense, have an obligation to bring the critical thinking, the skills in assimilation and synthesis of knowledge, and the respect for the boundaries of our knowledge that science brings. If we do not do this, then we will never be able to ensure that knowledge will improve the human condition for all of us, and we will be lost in the depths of a new lie-filled dark age. The motto of this university, Sapere Aude, can be translated as dare to be wise. And wisdom is great, but I think we need to translate it in a slightly different way. I think the best translation is dare to think. Independent critical thought is the only way we will generate the new knowledge that will change our world for the better. But having done that critical thinking, your obligation is to speak out. The lies, magical, homeopathic ideas that swirl through our society will only be dispelled by people like you thinking critically and speaking up. Speak up for knowledge, speak up for critical thinking, speak up to push back the magical, self-interested woo that deforms our society. To steal someone else's words, if not you, who? If not now, when? If we all stand up for science, engage in public debate, and rebut alternative facts, then the dream of evidence-informed change is possible. So please, enjoy your moment, bask in your achievement, take pride in your success, but remember, and it's only a small thing, the future of this world relies on you. So please, suit up, speak out, and stand up for science. Thank you for listening. Go be awesome.